All right, here we have Nick. Nick is actually in a pretty good position. He's got his weight back. The one thing I might suggest is maybe moving his feet a little bit further apart. But overall, okay, his hands are in good position. But the problem here is he drops his hand as he sees the ball. His hands drop, which means he's going to lose his power. When we swing, we want to move our hands towards the ball and not dropping them down. This next slide, you're going to see he begins to start his swing. His motion or his weight shifts towards the front, continues to drop his hands, but begins to start his motion in his swing. This next slide here shows that he does have his bat head that drops, which causes him to uppercut. The weight is shifted towards the forward. His back leg is starting to rotate. The hips are starting to rotate and get into the contact position. Right here, this is right when Nick makes contact. His eyes are a little bit out front, but not too bad. One thing I want you to focus on is his hands. His hands are actually in good position. Those door knuckles are actually pointing right at the pitcher. His arms are bent. That's a good power position to hit the ball. And in last season, that's where you saw him drive the ball, was in that. So here he's finishing his swing. He's going through the pitch. What we want to do is make sure we get really long on those arms and finish up those bottom hit with his legs. Here he finishes his swing. His back right foot begins to turn. His front leg is in a good position for him to swing. So here we can see as he actually swings the bat, drops his hands, and then swings to the ball. It's got a little bit of an uppercut. There is actually a pretty level swing. Maybe stretch out those legs a little further in his stance. And a little underneath it, but that was a high pitch. No worries there. Again, his hands are typically low. We tell him to keep his hands up, and then he continues to drop them, which causes that loop. With a faster pitcher, you might have a hard time getting around it. So again, some takeaways: his hands are dropping. Maybe stretch out his legs a little bit. Once he gets his swing going, it's actually in good shape. That bat head needs to be even and not dip, and then swing long through the pitch.